goes live. Thank you, everyone, for going live. This is Bridges Live with Dr. Paul Dyer. And you are with me on the podcast, Apple Podcasts. This actually goes out live to also the YouTube channels and all this like, share, and love. But most importantly, it's all about our guest. And that's what we mostly focus on, is our guest. And Judeline, please introduce yourself to Bridges Live.
Hello, Bridges Live. This is Judy. You can call me Judy. I like Judy instead of Judeline. It's easier for people to pronounce. Yes, but it's okay. Judy Galen. I am a certified life coach, and my focus is family recovery support coaching. That's what I expert in. That's what I. Oh my God, the name just escaped me. Long day already.
Yeah.
But thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you on this platform. So thank you.
You know, all my platforms is about information, understanding, and action. That's really, no matter what I do, it's really those three main focus things. It's because I still don't believe people have enough information. And I think people who listen truly don't understand. I don't think they do. I just think they let it go by. When you teach enough students and you turn around, and I do this a lot, I turn around from my blackboard and I go, does anyone have any questions? And no one has anything. I'm like, yeah, you guys are full of crap. First of all, I cannot believe you're sitting in that chair and I'm sitting up here and you don't have no questions. So this is an opportunity to be clear that people have misunderstandings about what therapy is, what addiction is, and where their life could go. And as much as we've said it here in my other shows or many other people, seek help, get counseling, don't do this by yourself. You're not by yourself. It still seems like the word's not getting out, is it, Judy?
Yes, well, it's not that the word is not getting out. It's out there, but there's a lot of, garbage, baggage that people have to work through to allow themselves to receive that information and to let it sink in. More often than not, a lot of people are not able, or they're not in a place where they're ready to receive the help and support that they are required to overcome whatever it is that they're dealing with.
You know, I know a therapist has been busy during the pandemic and know everything has risen and increased. And understanding that life has got to be better than this. What is some of the things that people fall into crisis even when they're getting help?
It's the thought. It's the thought of having to do something now. Like that idea or that sense of feeling, oh my God, everything's falling apart and I have to do something to keep it all together. And that is just a sense of crisis and not being able to see that, okay, well, at the moment right now, there isn't really anything that I need to do. And because that I cannot physically do anything about the situation that I'm dealing with, how about I focus on how I'm thinking about it? Or how about I focus on managing my mind and those worrying thoughts, right? And not let my mind or my thoughts run off with me. That's where the work comes in.
Absolutely. I've been a practicing Buddhist for a very long time, and the work is so beautiful, so difficult, so diligently digging into my own personal mindset and breaking away those constructs. We have built a lot of constructs around our own formulation of growing. And I'm not even sure if we've grown like we are as a mammal as much as we survived. And changing that dynamic to grow and getting out of survival, that's tough for clients.
Oh yes. That is a tough one. But once you lay down that ground foundation and you're able to help someone understand, like in my case at least, when I'm able to help someone understand how their thoughts are influencing how they feel and how they can actually take a step back and assess and make an informed decision as opposed to just, responding or reacting from that place of fear, which is what most of my clients deal with, because the fear is, oh my God, I'm going to find this person dead on the floor. Oh my God, the kids are home. Is he going to remember to pick up the kids or something like that? So it's a lot of little things, but if we're not managing our minds, it could just seem like.
I see the whiteboard behind you, and I'm what is with therapists and their whiteboards? We start writing things down and circling things. Can you go over it? That's some of the communication understanding. Like my eyesight. Yay! We get a class.
Absolutely. Are you able to see this from here?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the men coaching tool that I use in my practice. I love this model. We call it the self-coaching model. It's a model. I love it because of its simplicity. Just 5 things, and it really helps people put into perspective what they're dealing with. Just 5 things. So it's circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. So circumstances, and an example of that is things that we cannot control. You know that, Dr. Wall, right?
Yeah.
Things we cannot control. In my experience, the families that I serve, the one thing that is out of their control is the addiction, right? And to be more specific, whether someone relapses or not, right? That's the factor that's out of their control. And more often than not, my families, the people that I serve, they're concerned about, oh my God, I cannot go through this again. He cannot experience another relapse. She doesn't have another run in him. I cannot go through this again. So those are all the common thoughts, right? So you can imagine.
So I have a question, and just to help people out, do you think people get their thoughts thrown into to create their circumstances?
No. I believe the circumstances are there. We can certainly create, we can certainly find ourselves in a situation, right? But the circumstances, it's just like things that's part of life, like weather, accidents, traffic, People are going to get upset and frustrated. Other people, how they react, right? The weather, people dying and all. Those things are completely out of our control. But then are we aware of the thoughts or the story we have about those things, right? Yeah. But the confusion, though, sometimes is, from what I see, is that many people are not clear on what a circumstance is. A lot of parents I work with will tell me, well, Judy, of course I have control over my child. My child is underage. I control what he does, when he goes to bed, all of that stuff, right? But if you really think about it, parents are also reacting to our children.
Absolutely.
Right?
I was just going to be, I don't see how you think you would have control over your child.
But some people do.
And I have 9 kids, and I think I don't have any control.
Nice. Good for you. You must be doing something right.
7 grandchildren, and I know they don't have control.
Yeah. None of us do, right? But sometimes we do get ourselves into those confusing stages, or like places we get ourselves when we're thinking that somebody else is doing something to us, or that life would be so wonderful if we could just get this person to behave how we want him or her to behave, and that's why I typically say that it's not even about the drugs or the alcohol. It's more so about that relationship, the lack of certain feeling or certain needs or desires that are not being met within that relationship.
What is some of those feelings that you have found that people are looking for when they are doing the drugs and that addiction?
Relief.
Okay.
Relief. I know a lot of people, the way that their addiction started, it stemmed from pain.
Okay.
From having had an accident or something, or maybe there was a medical procedure, but it's mainly from pain. But, you see people suffering a lot of hard trauma, like experience, like people dying in front of you, rape, while you're young, your parents are fighting, and you may be witnessing your mom getting hit by your dad or something, So it's a lot of extreme circumstances that many people experience at a very young age, and left unmanaged or uncontrolled, then we're not able to process through that in a logical and safe way, in a way that makes sense to us as children, if that makes sense.
It does. And then so now it then goes into the feelings, and is that how we are, that internal feelings, how we are with our thoughts? Is that what the next thing is for the after thoughts and feelings?
Yes, afterthought is feelings. What this does basically is really show you how your thinking affects how you feel. Like, say, for example, the circumstance where I'm dealing with is like a stormy day or something, a snowstorm, right? That's the circumstance. I can't control the snow. It's going to stop whenever it does, right? And I can't control how cold it is or whatever. But if my thoughts about the storm is that it's too cold, this weather sucks, I'm trapped, I can't get anything done, I don't want to drive because it's slippery, I may get into a car accident or whatever, you can kind of imagine how these thoughts would lead me to feel maybe anxious, worrying, right? Maybe depressed, right? And when I am feeling those things, it all depends on whether I'm conscious of it or not. Sometimes this happens unconsciously. People just find themselves reacting. This happens a lot in the case of anger. Someone may get so angry that they're throwing and punching walls, and it's not until after they've settled down and calmed down, then they realize, oh, yeah, I was really angry. This is what happened. This is what I was thinking, because this person looked at me this way, or this person treated me this way. So you can kind of go... It's flexible.
Yeah, you can move up and down. Let me ask you, I've been writing a paper on consciousness, and I work a lot with that consciousness thought and teaching. Do you think that consciousness is a part of our spiritual and soul, or do you think it's something else? Where do you think the consciousness sits?
I think, to me, the words itself, we can get very bogged down on the semantics and the words, right? But it's really not words. To put it simply, I believe in a higher being and a higher power. I think that the universe, everything within the universe is all vibration and energy, right? Whether you call that the soul or, I don't know, right? There's something there. There's a higher being, there's a higher power at play, and I think it's all connected. It's all energy. We're like little radios with little antennas on our heads.
We're totally receivers and transmitters. And
exactly.
I think when we bring ourselves to that complete awareness of what and who I am, and the other stuff are the actions, like you said, where am I in this thought process? Where am I in this feeling process? And then I get to choose, because it's almost like, and I do this too, if you don't know your own awareness, then you have not really made a choice. It's actually, you're just reacting, and it's just, you're all over the place. So those aren't choices you made. Those are just response.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I believe we ourselves is our awareness. We are our awareness, right? Whether you call it a soul or whatever you call it, your awareness is everything. Without that awareness, you can't really do anything. It's not until you're aware of a problem or something needing to be fixed that you actually do something about it, which is what makes it all like so beautiful how it works, because we experience all the negative things, but the more we experience the negative things, the more we start understanding and know and get clear on what we do want to experience.
You know, I have not heard this used in a long time, but I don't think affirmations people are not using it enough in their lives. Do you think that's possible? I mean, give yourself the reward. Pat yourself on the back. Enjoy your successes. We know those. We might even hear those. We might even see that on the meme. But I don't think people are actually using affirmations as much as it once was talked about before, to affirm your life. You know, to give your life an affirmation of yourself living. You're living.
Yeah. You know, Dr. Dyer, one thing I've learned about affirmation is that our belief system is the key to making it all work. The belief system is what really glues it in together, you know. I can affirm every day, all day, that I'm a millionaire, but if in the back of my head I'm like, no, I'm not, you know, I don't have that much money in my bank account, you know, it's gonna be like a tug of war kind of, you know, being stuck. That's why a lot of people, they do find themselves in that position. They're saying the affirmations, but it's not working, and they're feeling stuck, and they don't know what else to do.
Because they're not believing in it. You know, you're so correct. You could say the words, but if you have no true belief, then the words doesn't, I mean, it's nothing. Even the mind, even your own personal brain be like, I don't even believe you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know the funny thing is, it's so fascinating we're having this conversation, and I'm loving this topic so much. But what's so fascinating is that when we do it to ourselves, we can feel when someone is not being honest and loyal or being like faithful to us. You know, like when we can say the words, but if we're not really believing what we're saying, the party we're communicating that to, they're going to feel it.
And that goes right back to that understanding that this is a vibrational issue. If you are not understanding what you're doing and what you're creating is that vibration, then that touch will never ever happen. And you're never going to really truly have that connection to someone else.
Yes, absolutely.
How can someone reach you, and how can someone talk more with you, and how do you get your stuff out there?
Well, they can reach me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is Passaje, Passaje _LLC. And my website, that's www.passagellc.com, PASSAGELLC.com. My email address, and I mean, if someone Googles my name, I would hope that
it comes up. Right.
So,
well, I thank you for giving me my time here on Bridges Live. I love Judy. You're a pleasure, and I just love the work you're doing, and all the light workers out there are doing some amazing work. And again, get help for people you don't. If you think you're not right, just ask for help. That's all. That's all I want to tell you. Get the services. People are out here waiting for you. Brothers and sisters are out here waiting by your phone call and taking care of the other communities. We got this.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.